The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down. Then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase. Don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything you need to know, the First Fruits Podcast. Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the First Fruit Stock Club. Man, glad you guys get joining me again. Happy to be here. Love to spend a few minutes, man, talking about stocks, talking about life. So what's going on in my life is, man, raising a teenager. Does any of you guys out there are raising a teenager and just going through those different stages? My son is 13. He was he's he definitely still I see traits of him when he was younger, when he would definitely spend a lot more time, talking with us, spending time with us. And I know I've been a young boy, of course, um, and I've been through those stages where it's like you really don't want to be around your parents. Like you don't really want to be around them. You kind of want to be by yourself or doing things on your own. And man, I remember those days. But when you're going, when you're a young kid, you never think about one day you'll be raising another kid and you'll be going through the process um all over again and from the other side of being a parent. And my dad is like, he's laughing now. He said, oh yeah, you deserve all that and then some, right? So he's like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And but raising a teenager, man, is interesting. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is just as my son, um, has gone from adolescence to teenager stage. A lot of times, when it comes to money, uh, people never allow their money to grow up, right? And my son is going through this process now, and he's going through a growing up process. Getting older, things a little bit more serious. You know, body changing, attitude changing, more emotional, caring more about his looks. But those are the different stages that kids go through, right? And that I went through and you went through. And but a lot of times we don't allow our money to grow up and go through those stages. So I was just reading a stat. It says um, that one third of an American's paycheck is gone within the first 12 hours. One third of an American's paycheck is gone within the first 12 hours. And when I read that, that's how I came up with this topic today called old money, right? And the objective today is, man, to help you to get your money to grow up, right? To get it out of the adolescence and the teenage stages, meaning as soon as you get it, it's gone, right? And get it to stay with you for a little while and longer than 12 hours. That's crazy. So the majority of your money is spent within 12 hours. And as a stat, 2025 stat for Americans and how they spend their money. But in order to get old money, there's some things you have to do. Those are things we're going to talk about. And of course, my focus is the stock market, and there's a lot of different things that you could do to have old money. Because I know a lot of times when we say, "Oh, they have old money," right? You'd have to be super wealthy, but you can practice this, and you can have old money just by just doing a few small things. And old money doesn't have to be money from from another generation or two generations or your great grandparents started something. And I know we hear about that, such as families like the Waltons on Walmart, or different families who've who've created enormous fortunes, right? And we hear about, oh, they have old money, like their money's been around, like from the like the Hilton family. Different families have created um, enormous fortunes that they've passed down from generation to generation. But and so we think about that and like, man, I'll probably never have old money, but you can start having old money today, right? May not be as old, but you can start the process. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm also going to get into a few. I'm going to show you a trade that I did in the club that club uh, members was able to get on and was able to make a really nice profit doing this. And the excuse me, the club member now was able to have a process of creating old money. All right. So let's get into the market. So the SPY, S&P 500, it is the largest 500 stocks in the U.S. And as you see, well, for the month, still has been on a tear, for the last month. But we reached a high um, of close to over 750, and just from the last few weeks, the market has been on a down trend and it's down. But we bounced back today. The market was up over 300 and some odd points, 399 points today. The market, and so so the market has done what has done is bounced back. The Dow was up 645 points and the Nasdaq 399 points. So the market has bounced back. We have an opportunity. Like it's always a great opportunity, man, to take advantage of a down market. And a lot of times we're not going to have big drops, as you see, but sometimes we'll have small drops. 1%, 2%, 3%, and you can still take advantage of those opportunities, especially when you're trading, right? So, as a trader, our goal, of course, is always to turn our new money into older money. All right. So let's look at this. Let's look at let's go into let's go into another section of the SPY. So look, I outlined some trend lines of the SPY. So you can see the double bottom. We bounced off the double bottom, right? And then we're headed back up. But we will hit some resistance. And as I'm looking on the futures, and the market is headed to probably start to open up, at least to be down tomorrow today. Now we had an update today. Of course, we had Nvidia earnings. There's a lot of stocks up today. So, um, and if you've traded or had to be in some trades, today was a good day to exit out some of those trades. But I think we're going to hit some resistance for the next couple of weeks. So this market right here is really more for a short term day trader. I still may put in some short term plays. I usually don't do a lot of short term plays, but because I think this is the market we're in, I'm always in long term plays. But to make some short term profits within a week, 2 weeks, I think this is kind of the market we're in, and I'm going to put some plays in the club for that. And so so man, the market always presents us opportunities. So this is one of the trades I put in a club. This was a call as UCO. there was a lot going on. I did a show a little while back. It was about dividends, right? And dividends. And the whole process that I teach everyone in the club is that we use options to fund our dividend account. And then when we get more dividends, we take our dividends and we buy contracts with those dividends. And we can continue this cycle to go on and on and on. And dividends to options, options, exit options, and then buy more dividends with it. And what happens is we create a cash flow machine, right? We create a cash flow machine that can allow us to replace, our entire salary or a portion of what we make. And the dividends, I know everyone said, with dividends, it takes you a lot of money. Not today. There are different products out there that will pay you 3, 4, 5% in a given month. Oh, before I get into that, let me sorry. So I'll get back to that. So the information provided, I have to do the disclaimer. Information provided in the First Fruit Stock Club podcast is for educational, informational purposes only and should not be considered financial investment, tax, or legal advice. The views expressed by the host and his guests are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any financial institution or regulatory authority. Investing in stocks and other securities carries risk, including the potential of loss principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. The First Fruit Stock Club and its affiliates do not guarantee any specific outcomes or returns. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own investment decisions. All right. So, man, when we get back to the trades, so this is a trade that I did, and it was UCO, which is a oil based ETF, right? And man, I discussed how you could tell the future, right? A few shows back, I was like, look, you can tell, the stock market. There's certain cues out there, or you can call them leading indicators. All right, that will give you clues about what the market, what's going on in the market, and what's about to happen. And one of them, I saw us going into war. Right, we were getting ready to go into war, and you kind of have an idea of we were in the Strait of Hormuz, and you know that the price of oil was about to go up. I mean, this playbook, I've been through this, seen this playbook like a lot of times. Okay, and so it's not like you want to look at you. You don't want the oil prices to go up, but I'm a trader, and I look at it's a trade, and they're going to go up regardless if I participate. I'm just like a small participant of of the process, but they're going to go up regardless, right? So, looking at it, looking at the environment and what's going on, you have to decide whether the trade is good. So, I began to look at the chart, and this was back in this was a call that I did January 15, 2027, $44 call of UCO, Pro Shares Ultra Crude Oil ETF, right? I love trading ETFs because it's not basically, the outcome is not determined. The outcome is not determined by one particular stock. So you kind of know that the ETF, in regards to oil and energy in general, was going to go up, right? I looked at my uh, I looked at some of the indicators that I have, as well as reviewing a chart, and I felt like this is a good opportunity, and this would turn out to be a good trade. All right, so I opened up the trade right in March, and it was for 2027 call, and the strike price was $45, and it cost me $2.85, which is When you buy an option, it's multiplied times 100. So it's 285 times 100. It cost me $285 per contract. A contract consists of 100 shares, right? So you get to control 100 shares. And it was a call. I mostly buy calls. Sometimes I buy puts, but mostly buy calls. Um, so I wish I'd have bought some puts today, but I didn't. After the and maybe I'll get into the earnings of Nvidia. Man, Nvidia just gives no love. But we don't know how the market's going to turn out tomorrow. But let me continue to get back into the trade. So as of today, remember we paid $2.48. As of today, $13.43. January 2027 call. Now I did not hold throughout the duration. I wish I did, but I did not hold. So I sold out of this probably I think about 100, 200% gain. But guess what? So now I can take out my profit or my initial investment, 200 some dollars per contract. I'm going to tell you how many contracts I bought. I can take out my initial investment, right? And I can put that in cash. And I can take out more than that, right? Put that in cash. And um, and then I take some of that money, I'm going to put in some dividends, and the dividends going to pay me weekly, right? I'm going to get weekly income from this call. And what we did is with this process, man, we took new money, right? Because new money from your job, right? And a lot of you don't have a lot of time, right? I get it. You don't have a lot of time, but you want to make extra income on the side. You don't have a lot of time. You want to make extra income on the side, right? And understanding options and taking options and investing in dividends and taking money from your job and put it into some option contracts as well as some dividend contracts. And now the process is going to happen like this. Now my dividend will pay me money, and guess what? Now I can go back here, right? And I can find more contracts. Now these contracts are more expensive now. They went from 2 to current prices $13. But I still think there's value, and I still think that throughout the summer, oil prices will go up and oil prices will go down, and so there's some opportunity there. All right, so that is the process of taking new money, right, and turning it into old money, right. Um, and what happens is if you take all your new money and don't turn it to old money and don't invest it will never get a chance to grow up. Therefore, you'll always be in the cycle, in the process of not turning, of trying to get new money. But when you decide to become an investor, right, and you invest in the market, right, and you have trades and you sit your money down and let your money earn money on money, the best business in the world, earning money on money, right? Then the money that's just there becomes old money, right? Old money that's generating on top of itself seeds that sprout into more money. And we just continue to process over and over again, right? We continue to process. And I've done oils one, but I probably do mostly technology. But it doesn't matter what it is. I am finding a trade, right? And not all trades turn out, okay? Tell you, not all trades turn out, but turn out this good. But this is definitely a trade that turned out for us pretty good that we were taking advantage of. We have some trades now, man. And some stocks now that we've bought. We're up 150, 200%. This is a banger right here. But in the club, right? And if you decide to join, you could begin that process of turning your new money into old money that'll stay around. I mean, just think about that. The majority of Americans' money is spent within the first 12 hours, right? just think about this money can, and when you put it in dividend stock, this money can be around for generations. You could eat off, you could eat off this, and it's just the beginning, but you could eat off this money for generations to come. Take the money, take it aside after you exit out of the trade. You buy some dividends, and you continue to earn money forever, as long as you want to do the trade. But you have to make that decision, right? You have to make the decision that that you really want to invest, that you're tired of the situation, and it's like, well, I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, nobody has time. Okay, but we make time for the things we are important. So don't wait until things uh, get horrible, or terrible, and you know, we want to want to be able to generate profit, in the midst, right, of our lives, and generate for our families. And once we start the process allows us to go and generate more and more income, right? So we're not the our income is not determined strictly from our jobs. And today, what happened to my camera? Okay, there we go. Today, um, you need extra income, right? Gas prices, whatever. Trading allows the company to do most of the hard lifting for you, right? The company does most of the hard lifting for you. And then when you join a club, because I give the trade, I'll do most of the heavy lifting for you. You just have to execute and press the buy button, right? And I help you develop the portfolio. You just have to follow the plan. It's that simple. And that's how the process works. So, man, I believe that anybody can do this, right? You can do it. It's about making the decision to do it. And it's about deciding that you that you want your money to grow up, and um, you wanted to stay as a little kid, as a teenager, right? You want your money to grow up and be an adult and generate more income for you, more seeds for you, and it'll change your life. So this is the process that we do, and like I said, we have our trades. We take our option contracts. We take a portion of that, we put it back into our options/risk account, and then we put some in the dividends that's going to generate money for us forever, right? And then when that weekly check comes in, we can decide to take that money, and then we also have what's called a long-term account, where we just have our money sit and and generate money for us on a long term. You have stocks, Nvidia up 100, 200%, you know what I mean, in regards to just having a stock and not really doing effort. So basically what happens is everybody that's working at those companies are basically working for you. All you did is just put the money up, right? And you made a decision that you didn't want to have baby money anymore. You wanted old money. So this is it for today. Man, I thank you guys for joining me. Give me a few moments of your time. Man, please, 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 if you like the information that I share with you, please like, subscribe, and share this information out. In this show today, I demonstrated a trade and how trades works, and how we can now take that trade and now put in a dividend that's going to pay us passively forever, right? And then we can continue to collect checks passively, and then collect larger checks from our trades. All right. And then check even larger checks that take a little bit longer time from our long-term portfolios. When we go through the entire process, right? When we go through the entire process, we create a wealth generation machine, right? And I believe that anybody can do the process. Anybody could do it. You just have to decide. So, man, that is it. That what I have for you this week, and I'll probably do more videos like this, show you trades, and we'll talk about the process. And but until next time, you and your family be fruitful. Bye bye.
The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down. Then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase. Don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything